I'm Darenisha Heron here in Austin. Multiple suspects are in custody after being accused of going on a shooting spree in Austin. It sparked a shelter in place for a large area of South Austin as well as Manor. Austin police say at least 2 suspects carried out up to 12 random shootings between Saturday and Sunday, injuring at least 4 people. At least 2 of the shootings occurred at Austin fire stations, others at apartment complexes and homes. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton announced a major settlement with Texas Children's Hospital over gender-affirming care for minors. Under the new agreement, the Houston-based hospital group will pay back $10 million to the state and build what the AG's office calls the nation's first detransition clinic. Daniel Perot explains what's in the settlement.
In an unusual settlement with the state, Texas Children's has agreed to open a detransition clinic, a first-of-its-kind clinic in the United States to provide care for those who underwent gender transition procedures.
They have high rates of serious medical complications, and there are significant out-of-pocket costs for a lot of those things. So this is going to help address a lot of those needs.
The clinic will be funded by the hospital and be free of charge to the patients for the first 5 years. As part of their agreement with the state, Children's also agreed to pay $10 million, and they have to fire multiple physicians. AG Paxton called the settlement historic, saying it reflects an institutional and cultural shift away from radical gender ideology.
What we want to do is we want to offer real help, not false hope, for these people.
In a statement, a spokesperson for Texas Children's told KVUE it was a difficult decision to settle, saying they're protecting resources from costly litigation to focus on life-saving care. Advocates for the trans community say it's a blow to Texans.
For a hospital system to participate in this type of hateful rhetoric in this campaign and uplift this negative messaging that's not based in science, that is going to have health outcomes on trans people.
A 2025 study from UCLA estimated trans people make up less than 1% of the state's population. Andrea Segovia with the Transgender Education Network says most who detransition do so because of social pressures, not medical complications.
The amount of people who have quote unquote regret about transitioning is less than people who have regret about knee surgeries or getting a tattoo.
Several medical associations support gender transitioning care and say it's appropriate and medically necessary for children.
There is a body of research to back it up, and it is scientifically accurate, it is valid, and it is not experimental. It is healthcare that saves lives.
Texas Children says the new clinic will formalize the supportive multidisciplinary services they already deliver to patients.
I think it's a very practical solution that should be very effective.
Critics worry other states will follow Texas's lead in forcing more of these clinics to open.
We are prioritizing a type of healthcare that benefits a very narrow group of people and then rejecting healthcare that benefits a huge population of folks who live in Texas.
As part of the settlement, Texas Children's also agreed not to provide gender-affirming care to minors, implement ethics measures, and changes bylaws to automatically punish any doctor who violates Texas's prohibition on medical interventions to transition kids. The fate of Woodin Elementary School in Southeast Austin moves forward. As KVUE's Jose Alonso shows us, it's 1 out of 10 campuses set to close by the end of the year in order to curb the district's multi-million-dollar deficit.
It was a small community turnout for the second Austin ISD meeting discussing the fate of Woodin Elementary School.
I choose to trust the process.
Woodin is one of 6 confirmed school campuses that will no longer operate after the end of this school year. A total of 10 are set to completely shut down. AISD is weighing their choices on what happens to the property in order to curb their $181 million budget shortfall.
What we've tried to do is have as much information as possible for the board to make the most well-informed decisions.
Austin ISD has been scoring these properties to determine if they should be reused by organizations like nonprofits with or without improvements, leasing the property, or outright selling it. According to the district's scoring data, Woodin's best outcome is to be reused by the community.
We hope that Woodin can continue to serve as a community hub with nonprofits serving the Southeast Crescent and some of the underutilized areas or the historically underserved communities.
AISD is acknowledging the large feedback from the community and the outreach from organizations like Avance Austin, Program Director Zobida Guerrero.
We serve the community and meet a need of early childhood education and parenting support. So we're here representing that community that will benefit to be in this school because the majority of the families come from this area, east, southeast. So last year we served around 1,000 individuals and 48% comes from this area.
This process will move forward and this community feels optimistic, but it'll come down to the school board to make the final decision. In Southeast Austin, Jose Alonso, KVUE News.
Austin ISD officials told us a vote on the school's future could come as soon as June 18th. We're hearing from the teachers union after Austin ISD superintendent says the board needs more time to come up with a budget proposal. The board still needs to figure out how to cut down a daunting $181 million deficit for the upcoming school year. Here's KVUE's Daniel Gomez.
Just about a month from now, Austin ISD votes on the budget.
You know, this is all very late. This information was really late.
Education Austin President Ken Zarafis feels optimistic.
What we believe is happening is the longer we wait, the more the district will back off what it's saying it will do.
Austin ISD Superintendent Mateus Segura is asking families and staff for more patience as the board struggles to answer the $181 million question, what and or who gets cut from the 2026-2027 school year.
You know, when we look at a reduction in staffing, because that's what this whole thing ultimately is likely to be impacted, how it's going to be impacted.
The teachers union president says students won't benefit from teachers picking up more classes and losing time to plan their lessons.
We can't just start cutting people and getting rid of people. And if the 6 out of 8 or 7 out of 8 saves $5-6 million, that's nothing in $180 million.
Segura says in his letter to Austin ISD families, every option is being considered to limit the strain on campuses. That includes potential cuts to the district's central office.
Because it is getting harder for our staff at our campuses, there's no doubt. But it is not easier here. Because I just want to be really careful when I say that, because it has gotten very, very hard everywhere.
Segura says Thursday night's meeting makes it clear more time is needed to figure out a solid proposal for the board to vote on by mid-June.
I don't think there's anything in here that's going to help inform me on a budget vote. I mean, do you, honestly?
And all of this comes as the school district works to redraw school boundaries. It will determine how many students each teacher will have in their classroom. That's it from us here in Austin. I'm Darren Shaharan.